What is up, everybody? A little bit of a different video today. Yesterday, someone in a Discord server I'm in shared a link to a Reddit post that was basically advertising this company, Strange Adventures, and their pre-order for Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond Avatar: The Last Airbender. Strange Adventures is gaining a reputation in the Pokemon community for the way that they've handled pre-orders in the past. And while they also offered Final Fantasy that we're going to take a look at today, I felt like it was important to try to get more of this out to the Magic community, because while they're gaining a reputation in the Pokemon community, I don't want to see people be taken by surprise in the Magic community. So I'm going to go through my opinions today on the company Strange Adventure and why I believe their website, their business is set up to be predatory, and how they're taking advantage of people that want to purchase these items, whether it's Pokemon or Magic. And we're going to focus on the Avatar: The Last Airbender collections. So I went to the website and just clicked into the collector booster display. They have a couple different items, and there's a few things on the first page that are pretty important. Obviously, you can pre-order $455.88 in USD. And you look at it and say, oh, no deposit until November 12th. That's when Airbender comes out. Like, that doesn't sound like a bad deal. But we're going to go through a few things, and I'm going to point out some small details, in my opinion, why this is all set up to take advantage of the people that are looking to buy from them. No deposit until 11/21. That's cool, but what kind of deposit is it? In the past, with Pokemon Black and White, they had this. This is from a Reddit post shared by NegMech in the Pokemon TCG post of their pre-order policy for Black Bolt and White Flare. They had the big important notice: purchasing does not guarantee fulfillment due to high demand and limited supply. Allocations may and often do occur. Orders are only confirmed once shipped, which is important for later. A non-refundable 10% deposit is collected at the time of the order to cover processing and administrative costs, blah, blah. This amount is applied to your total if the order is successfully allocated. The deposit will not be returned under any circumstance, including cancellations or allocation shortfall. So saying we didn't get enough from distribution, so you don't get your 10% of your deposit back, is already sketchy, in my opinion. Right? Now, this was for Pokemon Black Bolt, White Flare. When we go back to their Magic, we see no information about the deposit, no declaration of what the amount the deposit is. Is the deposit 10%? Is the deposit non-refundable? There's no information here. None. And we're going to break down every little piece of information they do give us on their website and why I think it's lacking, like completely lacking. So let's just say that we wanted, I don't know, 1,000 of these. There's no limit here. Like, I don't think anyone would want to spend 550 of these boxes for $455, but maybe you do. We're going to go ahead and change it down to 1 just to show you guys what happens. So let's say we want to take that 1 and we want to click reserve. We go here, little bit of information here. Pre-order items delivered as soon as possible. No date. That's fine. We know they're not supposed to ship stuff out before the sell date. Okay. No estimated date of delivery. But there's some other things here. You have your totals, everything there. And then I have read and agree with the terms and conditions. Before we get into the terms and conditions, we're going to go down here. Can't click anything without agreeing to the terms and conditions. I wanted to take a look at their cancellation policy, which they have listed in the small print underneath the checkout button. So let's check the box. We'll go in and we'll read the terms and conditions in a little bit, but let's check out what their cancellation policy is. Oh, wait, I can't. It's a dead link. It highlights it's a link, but it's a dead link. Nothing pops up. You cannot pull their cancellation policy. By continuing, I agree to the cancellation policy and authorize you to charge my payment method at the price, frequency, and dates listed on this page until my order is fulfilled or I cancel if permitted. There's the first little bit, well, maybe the second little bit of how crazy this is going to get. You can't see the cancellation policy that you have to agree to before making the purchase. Now, you can't see the cancellation policy, but you can see the refund policy that's linked at the bottom of the page. So let's look at the refund policy first. The refund policy, pretty straightforward. Please review our policy carefully before making a purchase, as all sales are final. No returns or refunds. Due to the nature of our business, we do not accept returns or exchanges, and we do not offer refunds for any products sold. This policy applies to all items, including comics, graphic novels, collectibles, and merchandise. So you can't see the cancellation policy. You can see the refund policy, which says no returns or refunds. The only exceptions they do list are defective items and damaged products, where you have 48 hours or 7 days, depending on the item, and then how to report it, which is sending them an email, provide the proof of purchase and the photo of the damage, and they'll get back to you within 3 days. That's the refund policy. It's no refunds or returns unless it's damaged or defective. Okay, so if we go back here, we can't see cancellation. We can see the refund, which is basically no. And then we can see the terms and conditions. So if I go to the terms and conditions, here's the list of terms and conditions. And there's a couple that I think are really important. There's 13 entire points, bullet points on this. There's a couple of really big ones, though. If we go down and start with number 8, high demand product releases and allocation policies. For pre-orders, exclusive items, and limited quantity releases, purchase caps may be imposed and strictly enforced per individual, household, or payment method. Multiple orders determined to be originating from the same source may be summarily canceled. Parting or adding a virtual basket does not guarantee inventory allocation. Inventory is not secured until a confirmation of shipment is issued. So when you place your order and you get that little, your order is confirmed, here's confirmation of your order, that is not legally what they're calling confirmation. Inventory is not secured until confirmation of shipment is issued. So you can't expect to get anything you order until they give you shipping, until they give you the tracking. That's when you're actually confirmed to get whatever it is that you bought, according to them, on their terms and conditions in Section 8. Section 9 has something interesting, and I'm sorry this is a little boring, but like, if I learned anything from Bluey, it's that boring stuff is important too. Okay, so number 9, the shipping, force majeure, and the fulfillment delays. We shall not be held liable for delays arising from third-party carrier disruptions, supplier issues, natural disasters, civil unrest, or any event reasonably considered force majeure. Refunds may be granted only in the cases of substantial delay, including any orders voided or held pursuant to Section 2 or 4 of this agreement. The reason I think this is important is because refunds may only be granted in cases of substantial delay or pursuant to Section 2 or 4 of this agreement. So let's look at Sections 2 and 4. This is the little boring stuff they're using to, in my opinion, take advantage of people. Section 2, prohibition of automated process and bot activity. You hereby agree that the deployment or utilization of any automated means, including but not limited to web crawlers, bot scripts, macros, proxies, not going to read all of it, for the purposes of engaging or manipulating the services is strictly prohibited. Oh, all right, we're one of the good guys. You can't bot our stuff. We're not going to supply the botters. No. But the bolded part that they put in right here, Strange Adventures, in its sole discretion, will determine if bot activity has deployed or utilized. They don't have to declare how they determined that someone was botting. They don't have to declare the conditions to which led them to decide whether or not bot activity was deployed. But here's the catch. All they have to do is they're the only ones that can declare, hey, we think this order was from a bot. Why is that important? The average person's not using a bot to do this stuff. The average person. Sure, there are some out there. Any attempt to subvert or circumvent security protocols, purchasing limits, or checkout systems, or product availability mechanisms by automated or deceptive means shall constitute a material breach of this agreement and will result in, without limitation, order cancellation, denial of service, forfeiture of funds, permanent banning, and or legal action. So, Strange Adventures, in its sole discretion, can determine that anyone is using a bot, and once they say, they're botting, or we think they're botting, the possibility is that they sit there and say, well, they forfeit their funds. No refund. Don't need to send them product. We can cancel their order and keep their money. And they're the only people that can sit there and declare this. And they don't have to share any of the information as to why they thought it was botting. The other section, number 4, right of refusal, cancellation, and restriction. Strange Adventure reserves the unilateral and discretionary right to review, hold, modify, reject, or cancel any order for any reason, including but not limited to suspected fraud, violation of purchasing restrictions, bot activity, or misuse of services. Okay, but for any reason means because I didn't feel like it today technically falls under the any reason. No order shall be deemed acceptable until such time as it is processed, confirmed, and physically shipped. The mere issuance of a confirmation email shall not constitute acceptance. So, they, in their own terms and conditions that you have to agree to, say, hey, we'll send you a confirmation email, but that doesn't mean that we're expecting to send you anything. We're not expecting to send you anything until we say, hey, we sent you something. Okay. So they can sit there, declare anyone they want a botter based off of their own terms and conditions. And then because they declared you a botter, they can keep your money. Also, something that's come up a few times through the terms and conditions is the purchase limits. What we saw on their page, there's no notation over what the limit may be for the collector booster box display, which will surely be allocated. I mean, of course there's not an unlimited supply, so it's not going to be available to anyone and everyone who wants it, right? So, what's the purchase limit? They don't declare what the purchase limit is. They can just change that whenever they want. My opinion is that they're using the terms and conditions here are worded in such a way that they can change them whenever they want. Declare any order botting and then not have to send a refund because, they went over the purchase limit. Maybe we set the purchase limit to 1, but we didn't tell anybody. It's not declared anywhere on their page. We saw earlier, you can add however many you want in here. There's no limit on here. We could order as much as we wanted. 25 of them is going to cost you $11,373.97. Woo! Almost had a moment there. Now, I got to make sure that I don't accidentally check out. I don't want to be putting that on the card. But that's step 1, it's my opinion that their website is set up to be predatory. And you might be sitting there saying, well, okay, but every company has terms and conditions and a cancellation policy and a refund policy. Yeah, everyone does. And you should look at those things because at the end of the day, you are agreeing to them. But theirs is set up in a way that, my opinion is, they're set up to take advantage of you. And you're like, oh, well, maybe they'll just get tons and tons of product. Or they won't take advantage of us. Maybe a couple people will get their orders canceled. Well, we're going to look at some history of their orders being canceled from their own Instagram. So if I go over to their Instagram, I want to show their Destined Rivals and Final Fantasy updates for allocation. So we're going to look at 2 of their posts. This one, they posted June 8th. June 8th, they posted this information. Not everyone in the Magic community cares about the Pokemon stuff, but there's some numbers here where so far they say they've refunded 5,486 orders. So there were a ton of orders that didn't get allocated, an absolute ton. 5,000 that were refunded, and they don't have to refund them all. And we're going to see in their own comments people claiming that over 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, they still haven't been refunded. There are examples we'll show in a little bit. There were examples of people that had their order canceled before the allocation cut off and then got charged again on release, or like a week before release. I'll show you that in a little bit, or at least an example of it. So when we look at this, they say our allocations for the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy set was stronger than what we received for recent Pokemon, as we had anticipated. However, it still wasn't enough to fulfill every pre-order. So remember that. That's important. Final Fantasy allocation was stronger than our Pokemon release, because we're going to look at their numbers over their Final Fantasy allocations. We'll be holding a raffle this upcoming week to allocate the available product fairly. God, I wish I could speak. So when you're pre-ordering from them, it's no longer you're pre-ordering an item and it's first come, first serve. This became a raffle that they did. And to my knowledge, from everywhere I've looked, you can't find video of them doing a raffle or them showing the raffle that, oh, we emailed the winners. So you're telling me on the Pokemon side that over 5,000 orders were canceled, and the handful of winners that there were just got an email, but we can't tell you who won. Well, the people who bought in on this program didn't know it was going to be a raffle, and nowhere on their website does it say it's a raffle. There's very little detail on any of it. In fact, the avatar set just says that it's a deposit. The other thing that's important here is additionally, we'll begin processing refunds for all unfilled orders this week. And that was on June 8th. It's important to note, on June 8th, they said they will start processing orders this week. So we're going to go to another post on their own Instagram. Their own Instagram. Here's another post on June 19th. So 11 days later. 11 days later, Magic Final Fantasy allocation update. Here we go. Are we ready? We got 4 Final Fantasy bundles. 4. 6 collector booster. There is a correction to this. They posted the wrong image. According to them, it was 6 collector booster boxes, not the single pack boosters, but 6. Commander deck. 1 case. 1 of each commander. 1 case of commander decks. 1 case, 1 of each collector commander deck. 4 play booster boxes. Not even a full case. A full case is 6 boxes. They said they were allocated 4. Now, there's a third post that they have where they're opening up 2 play booster boxes. We'll show that one in a little bit. So not even everything they received went to allocations for order through their website. 7 starter kits in total. Refunds. If you did not get product, refunds will start going out this week. This is 11 days after they said we'll start processing refunds. Now it will start going next week. Keep an eye out for a cancellation email. If you have questions, reach out to support. If you look through their comment section, the entire comment section is people saying, hey, I still haven't gotten a refund. I still haven't gotten a refund. Been waiting on a George Torres says, been waiting on a reply to ticket 1621 for over a week. You guys are holding almost $300 from me off of Destined Rivals. AMG It says, still waiting for a refund in response to many emails about you stealing my money and not sending my Destined Rivals pre-orders. Oh my God, it's Chrissy Still haven't refunded. Still haven't received my refund for the 2 Destined Rivals ETBs over a month ago, guys. Come on. These aren't my comments. These are actual people who bought in to this website that, in my opinion, is built to take advantage of people just trying to enjoy the hobby. There's an example, I've mentioned it earlier, of a guy who purchased an order in, I believe it was May. This set came out in June. No, it didn't order in May. Purchased in March, I believe. And then in May, had the order canceled by Strange Adventures. Then got charged for his pre-order that was canceled in June at release time. I'm not the first person to cover this. Rattle covers all things Pokemon. Rattle helps me get set up on YouTube and helps me say, hey, your layout is trash. Hey, make better thumbnails. Rattle is somebody that I look up to. I'll say mentors me. Maybe he's like a Sherpa. Rattle covers this. If you look at his videos, and I'm going to link all of his videos on Strange Adventures below, order number 33879 is the one that the guy gets jerked around, but it's not the only one that's out there. There's multiple stories like this on Reddit of people claiming the same exact thing, showing their order numbers and things like that. I'm not going to cover every single one of them, but this company charged people after the fact, then apologized on Instagram saying, oh, we're sorry, it was a mistake on the website. It was a mistake through the pre-order system. They're the ones that canceled the order and then recharged it. There are people waiting weeks for refunds, and I'm not sure they've all gotten them, because we've seen on their own terms and conditions, if they believe that you're botting, they don't have to prove it. They can just say, well, we believe they're botting, and that means they forfeit all their funds. It's absolute crazy. I hate this stuff when it comes to like people trying to enjoy a hobby. I hate this stuff when it comes to that. Like, these guys do silly things. They don't deserve your business. Oh, and by the way, remember I said there were 6 booster packs in a case, or booster boxes in a case, and they only allocated 4 for the entire set? Is that the other 2 in their video? Did they not just use that to fulfill orders from people that had paid months in advance? I mean, they're clearly using it right here. They're clearly selling it. Join our Final Fantasy draft event this Friday. $60 entry includes 6 Final Fantasy play boosters. $10 a play booster. No wonder they didn't use it to fulfill the orders on their website, because they can keep the money from the order and sell the product in their own store. My opinion, stay away from Strange Adventures. It's only going to lead to heartache. There's plenty of examples of people in their own comment section saying that, oh, it's time for just to charge it back. We're going to have to charge it back. If we want to get our money back from this company, we have to charge it back. My opinion is it's not worth the risk. It's not worth your time, your stress, putting money on hold, giving them a loan that you may or may not get back. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think, because I think this is BS. And Joe Furman, the owner of Strange Adventures, has phrased this all, in my opinion, to take advantage of everyone. So much so that I think his nickname should just be Joe the Vermin Furman. Joe the Vermin Furman. What are you doing? Fix your website. Fix your business practice. Share your cancellation policy. Why can't we see your cancellation policy? I think that's fair, considering it's something every customer has to agree to. And that's all I really have on Strange Adventures. Hope everyone stays safe. Hope everyone makes smart choices, especially when it comes to their money and their collection. And whether you play Magic, collect Magic, maybe you're in the Pokemon side. Be smart. Do your research. Don't give free business loans. See ya.